Hey guys, welcome back to another behind the scenes. Today we got a pretty sweet shot going on. It's a micro scale Gotham, and Batman is driving his Batmobile up and off this cliff. So you'll see the micro version of the Batmobile there. It's got its own little light kit for the headlights and also the taillights, or the flames rather. But then in addition to that, I'm using this laser pointer to sort of aid in producing those fiery effects. So essentially this entire shot is done in camera. There's this Edelkrone slider I have that's moving across the scene. And you'll see here even there's clouds sort of suspended on this pane of glass to aid in creating even more parallax. So really the only effects that are going to be needed for a shot like this is just rig removal. Taking out this, come on, let's go ahead and focus here. There we go. Yeah, taking out this rig. I got this rig from a company called CineSpark, if anyone's interested. Not sponsored, unfortunately, but cinespark.shop. And they have these really sweet rigs, really well built, and they even have Lego attachments kind of that come with it already. So they've kind of they're already catering to the brick film market in that way. So that makes it really easy. The headlight is actually just an LED stud that I bought off eBay, I think. There's a lot of people who sell stuff like this on eBay that are kind of like pre-drilled, pre-glued LEDs inside actual Lego pieces. And then I kind of modified the side of it so that it's attached. But from the perspective of the camera, you can't see any of that. So yeah, I just finished this shot. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I did a version of it last night that I wasn't so happy with. It was okay, but I felt like, I don't know, just when you actually start animating the shot, you kind of start to get more of an idea of what the shot wants to be. So oftentimes with shots like this, it's good to do like at least an initial pass of animation to kind of see where the problems lie, and then kind of address those in the next pass. But yeah, I really like how this one turned out. It's cool. The whole set's kind of backlit by these two really bright shop lights, so you get a lot of kind of bleed through the actual brick itself to kind of backlight the entire city, which I think looks really good. It would be even cooler. I don't know. I want to experiment with more panes of glass. This is actually just a desk that I have. I've had this for a long time. It's the same one I used for the Captain America Nazi Zombies, having the light shoot up through the glass, creating that like hell broken earth effect. But if I got like a kind of a sheet of maybe plexiglass, not actual glass, or some sort of like plastic that is transparent, that maybe I could even add sort of a fog to. If anyone knows anything like that, any kind of material I could buy like that, it'd be great to add kind of layers of atmosphere. Because this is like, it's kind of dirty. It was a lot dirtier last night. I spent some time cleaning it. But I think the smudges and stuff actually add to it. And it'd be great to have one that's kind of even more smudged up or kind of artistically foggy looking, so that you could create layers of atmosphere and depth. That's one thing that's difficult to simulate in stop motion, is fog or depth. So it kind of having those artificial layers could be really cool. So yeah, I'll show you the shot. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, this is the shot I did last night, but I wasn't as happy with this one because he didn't actually make the jump. I was initially planning on having the jump be a separate shot, but I thought this shot was honestly too short for how cool it looked. It kind of was like a blink and you miss it, which is fine in some instances, but when it's a really cool shot, you want to linger on it a little bit more. So I added a few more frames and actually had to make the jump in this version. Let's see if it'll focus. So yeah, really cool how pretty much everything's in camera. And you can see how that LED, or that laser pointer, kind of comes in handy to artistically create that fire effect. And you have to do a lot of different versions of that. Like, you'll see there's a lot of hidden frames of ones that might be contenders before I kind of selected my favorite one, because everyone's a little bit different, because I'm not just holding the laser pointer and just like kind of shaking it around during the exposure. So it's a pretty short exposure. I think it's like half a second or something, but still in that time, the laser pointer bounces around quite a bit and starts refracting light, you know, bouncing light all around. Especially with that glass pane in the background. So yeah, some frames won't look good and other ones will. So you kind of have to like almost animate the flame itself using the laser pointer. But yeah, I think that looks really nice. So it's kind of like just utilizing that LED at first, just over with a typical Lego flame, small Lego flame fire piece. And then when he jumps in, when he hits the NOS, the boost, that's when it really starts to flare up. So yeah, just gonna go ahead and start editing this rig out, all these wires as well. But I got some clean plates for that. That's basically where you just take everything away before you move on to the next frame, and just snap a frame of just the set itself. I think I can show you an example of that. Hopefully I've got one. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, I've got one for everyone. So over here, I just kind of placed them. It was kind of easier just to drop the Batmobile right there. But that way I have a clean plate of all these elements, so I can easily mask out all that stuff. Yeah, but pretty stoked with how this turned out. Honestly, I think it looks really sweet. I've kind of been sort of hesitant to do micro shots in the past. Like, I'm like, well, I could just build that for real. But sometimes the scale is so massive, like with this. If this was done with this Batmobile, I mean, let's see how big this Batmobile is in the frame. So like, that's how big that Batmobile is in the frame. If we were to do that with this actual Batmobile, kind of have to step back even farther. Ooh, wow, yeah, that would be a very big set. So you can imagine that's not really possible. I mean, unless we call on David Hall for a favor and spend a couple weeks building this mountainside. I mean, it is possible, but I mean, again, it's also a 2-second shot. It's also kind of neat to have that novelty. I think even the Lego Movie did that a couple of times with the micro builds. So it's a novelty, it's fun, but it also serves a practical purpose in that I can't feasibly, realistically build that scale of a mountain. I do want this video to eventually come out. So I think this is a good compromise. I think this is like the only shot really like this. Oh, I guess not really. There's exterior shots as well of Gotham, kind of establishing shots. And then there's a lot of like forced perspective where you have elements and characters at full scale in the foreground, and then as we tear back through the city, the buildings get smaller and smaller in scale to kind of give that illusion of depth. But you'll see all that when the video comes out. I'm really excited for this one. So right now he's kind of driving off to fight the Red Hood, and that's the final action sequence, and that's where I'm at. So there's still a lot to do in terms of finishing and starting and finishing that action sequence. I can turn on the lights now. So this is where that's going to take place. This is Red Hood's nest. There's Red Hood, and there's our boy Damian. And what's really cool about this set actually is that it'll be lit primarily from underneath. I don't want to leave these on, but here, I'll actually turn off these lights again so you can see the full effect. But I think having an action scene set in this situation, I mean, there's definitely gonna be more lights than just that, but I think that's a good jumping off point for the cinematography, and it kind of sets the scene apart from things I've seen in the past. I mean, I've seen brick filmers do something similar to this before, but it's pretty rare to kind of light your scene from below. like that. So I think that'll look really neat. Gives it kind of an ominous, scary, spooky vibe, which is great. What else? What else? Yeah, I think that should do it for today. Just wanted to show you guys what I've been working on. Oh yeah, I also wanted to talk about the Patreon class. Well, it's not really a class, it's more of a animation review. So if you see here, our next Patreon exclusive class is on the 10th, followed by one on the 17th, the 24th, and the 31st. So every month I have one of these classes where I kind of discuss animation, open it up to everyone in the chat, and people can share their animations and I can watch them in real time and give feedback and notes and pointers, stuff like that. So I've been doing that for probably over a year now, and it's been going well. I've been on vacation. I've been really busy recently, so I've been kind of slacking on that, and I haven't done one in a couple months. So that's why I'm doing a bunch in a row to kind of make up for that. So we're gonna do one every Saturday until the 31st, and then following every month, instead of kind of what I've done in the past, is just kind of announcing a random date every month that it'll be on. From now on, it'll just be held on the 31st of every single month, the last day of every month. So whatever day that falls on, that's when we'll do it. Unless, you know, something comes up, but I'll try, you know, not to make that happen. I'll try to leave my schedule open so I can make that date every single month. If something does come up or something changes, obviously I'll let the patrons know, but that'll be tentatively the date for every single class moving forward. So if you're interested at all in that, you can sign up over on the Patreon. It's $10 a month. That also gives you access to like message me personally over there on Patreon, where I can give, you know, further feedback and answer questions and stuff about, you know, the tech I use and the methods I use to achieve certain effects. You can always, of course, message me on Twitter. I'm not really on Twitter as much these days, but you know, there's other ways of messaging me, like Instagram and stuff. But if you really want like a guaranteed, you know, response, since I just get so many messages, I can't feasibly respond to them all. I'd be, you know, responding to messages all day. But, you know, with the patrons, it's different because those are the people who are supporting me financially. So I feel an obligation to get back to them. And I do really want to help, you know. A lot of this stuff, a lot of this knowledge I've accrued over the past, you know, 15, 20 years, however long I've been doing this. And it'd be great if I had this resource when I was just first starting out, or even a couple years into starting out, just because there's so many little things, you know, like the CineSpark rig, you know, stuff like that, where it's like, if I had known about that earlier, I would have, you know, saved me a lot of heartache, or headache, rather, heartache and headache. So yeah, if that sounds at all interesting to you, please go ahead and sign up over there. I'm going to try to make more videos like this as we sort of dive deeper into the finale of the Red Hood animation. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon.